Hi, I'm Danielle Lanzavecchia, and this is my final exam compensator design. Overall, my compensated system is comprised of three compensators, two of which are phase lead, one designed through root locus and the other designed through a Bode diagram, and the last compensator is phase lag, designed through a Bode diagram. As you can see on the right, the compensated system has attributes of being stable, having a percent overshoot of 16%, a rise time of 0.0407, a steady state error of 0.0904, and a phase margin of 65.2, which all meet the design requirements. In order to create the system, I first looked at the uncompensated system and noticed that the poles were positive real parts, immediately implying that the system is unstable and none of the design requirements were met or existed. On the right, you can see the Nyquist of the uncompensated plant, which has P equal to 2 and equal to 0, and implying that Z is equal to 2, so the system is unstable. The unity feedback of the unit step input grows exponentially. The root locus has positive real parts lying on the right of the origin. The error is also growing exponentially, and the Bode plot doesn't have a has a gain margin of 0 and a phase margin that does not exist since it doesn't go through omega equal to 0. My first goal was to create a stable system, so I decided to add a phase lead through the root locus because I knew that adding this would pull the dominant poles to the left, creating negative real parts, which is exactly what we need for a stable system. So in order to find the dominant poles, I used the percent overshoot and rise time requirements in order to find a zeta and omega n value. I found that zeta needed to be greater than 0.358 and that omega n needed to be greater than 13.8. So I decided to use a zeta equal to 0.4 and an omega n equal to 15. Through this, I was able to create a phase lead that has GC of S equal to 369.7, S plus 6 divided by S plus 23.84. The 369.7 is the K value that I found. Through this compensated system, I found that the system was indeed stable. The percent overshoot was equal to 59.9, which still needed to be lowered. The rise time is equal to 0.0668 seconds, which met the design requirements. Steady state error was equal to 0.0904, which met the design requirements, and the phase margin was equal to 39.1 degrees, which still needed to be increased. Through this, you can see on the right that this is the root locus of the design, so it is now stable. This is furthered through the Nyquist plant, where you can see that P is equal to 2, N is equal to -2, and Z is equal to 0. The unity feedback now does not grow exponentially and has a percent overshoot of 59.9. And this is the error of the first phase lead plant or compensator, and this is the Bode. My second compensator that I decided to add was a phase lead through a Bode diagram. I decided to do this since the percent overshoot needed to increase, and phase leads move the root locus further to the left, which inherently increases zeta, increasing percent overshoot, and it would also increase the phase margin. To do this, I calculated the cutoff frequency and phase margin of the current compensated system, where omega C was equal to 14.8 and the phase margin was equal to 31 or 32.1. Through this, I knew that I needed to add 45 degrees to the phase, and was able to find a GC2 of S equal to 1 plus 0.1656 S over 1 plus 0.0276 S. Through this compensator, the percent overshoot decreased, to 22.3%, which now met the design requirements. Rise time still met the design requirements. Steady state error still met the design requirements, and phase margin was now increased to 57 degrees, which still needed 3 more degrees added to it in order to meet the design requirement. This is the Bode plot on the right of the second phase lead. This is the Nyquist, proving that the system is still stable. The root locus, where it shows that the dominant poles were moved further to the left as predicted. The steady state error of the second phase lead, and the unity step input of the entire system. For my final compensator, I decided to add a phase lag, as I knew that it would help increase the phase margin and without affecting the steady state error. To do this, I looked at the Bode plot of the previous compensated system and found where 120 degrees would be added. I decided to use 118 to give some safety. However, that 120 came from the fact that the phase margin needed to be greater than 60. So 60 minus 180 is equal to negative 120. So through this, I was able to find, by clicking through the MATLAB, I was able to find an omega n equal to, or an omega c equal to 32. So from this, I calculated through to find a compensated system of GC of S equal to 1 plus 125S divided by 1 plus 167S. Overall, my entire system meets the design requirements through these 3 compensators. In terms of sensitivity, I noticed that through the Bode diagram that although the phase margin is high and promising, the magnitude of the diagram suggests higher sensitivity, and this is further confirmed through the Nyquist plot. Since the closed loop system has maximum sensitivity when it's closest to -1, the Nyquist curves are very suggest that it is high in sensitivity, since it is very close to the -1,0 point. Overall, this is my final compensator, and thank you. This is the Bode plot, the Nyquist, the unity feedback, the root locus, and the error. Thank you.